Welcome to another video. In this video, we're going to be talking about Xbox 360 games that have shot up in price in the last few years, let's say. I'm going to start with the first game on the list. We're also going to talk about later on pitfalls of and the dangers of buying these games now as opposed to 4 years ago. So we'll start with this one, Morph X. I paid a few pounds for it in 2022, roughly. I haven't got a receipt because it would have been a local purchase. So let's have a look at the game. It's a third-person game. The manual and disc. It's made by 505 Games, which another game in my pile here has also been made by them. The intro looks really nice, really quite well made. It looks almost real, but when you actually see it, you can tell it's a render, but it's pretty good for the era, the time. So as I said, I paid a few quid for it. Let's say around £4 or £5, not a lot. These days, I'm only going to use CEX as the kind of price point, and they want £32. It's not considered a rarity. I played a little bit of it to capture the footage. It seems an okay game. Nothing fabulous, but I guess a game you wouldn't have necessarily played in the height of the Xbox 360's life. Would have been playing Gears of War and Halo and games like that. So on that one, it's gone up considerably. Will it come down? Who knows? These games might come down, as it becomes less collectible, the system. And there's a reason why I don't think it will, and I'll tell you at the end of the video. Anyway, let's move on to the next one, which is going to be Rambo. Now, Rambo I bought for the PS3 back in 2019 because I thought that it was only on the PS3. I thought it was an exclusive. And generally what I do is, for this generation of consoles, I'll collect the exclusives on the PS3 and try and collect as many as I can for the 360. And a few for the Wii U, but not many. Not really into that Wii U thing. There's a few good games on it, obviously a few, not many. So Rambo I paid £6 for. You can't really see that. £6 in 2019. It's a strange game. It's it's like a light gun game, but you don't use a light gun controls. You use a controller. It's a very awkward game to play. Looks quite good though. I mean, could be good with a light gun or a mouse. It would be awesome, but it's just not. Anyway, let's have a quick look on CEX. This Rambo is £28. So, gone up by £22 since I bought it. Which doesn't sound a lot, but it is quite a lot, really. For what, it's not a rubbish game, but it's not a great game either. And it's really hard to play. You want to play it because it's Rambo. You want it to be really good, but it's just not great. I mean, maybe just I'm rubbish at it, which is most games I'm rubbish at. Just passes the time for me. I quite like playing them. Anyway, let's move on to the next one, which is going to be Lollipop Chainsaw. Not a game I played in the past. During the 360. I do remember seeing it. Do remember my boys having it. Would have been just leaving school. I do remember watching them play it, thinking it's like a zombie hack and slash kind of game, but overkill. Again, I don't have a receipt for this one, but it was bought in about the same time as the rest of them. I haven't really bought a lot of 360 games until recently, really, until I took a bit of a break from collecting games and collected something else. But this is a good game, I think. It's good fun, and it's just been remastered as well. So let's have a look on CX. what it says. £45. Also, it doesn't say that it's a rare. Normally it says Xbox games rarities there, so I'm guessing they're not classing that as a rarity. So there's plenty in stock. So yeah, again, I probably paid £5 or £6 for that. Not an awful lot, and it is an okay game. Graphics are good. I think the remaster's called Lollipop Chainsaw Repop. Correct me if I'm wrong. Again, 18 game. You know, probably gone up by £40 since I bought it. I do like the cover art's pretty good as well. I like the art on games. Having a library of books with nice covers. Anyway, let's put that back. The next one we're going to be looking at is Bomberman Act 0. I really like the original Bomberman series. Played it a lot in party play and co-op. It's a brilliant little game. Quick pick up and play. And actually gets really hard. This is a, I don't know, adult remake of it? Who knows? This took me a long time to get. But I did only pay £1 for it. And it is not a great game. I mean, it looks like Bomberman. It's just not. Doesn't play the same way. It's the pace is off, I think, and the graphics are very dreary looking. But I suppose they tried to make something different. It's probably a good party play game still, but I just find the pace is a little bit off. Anyway, that's enough about the game. Paid £1 for it, and on CX it's now £25. I mean, it's not a great amount of money, it's not huge, but it's 25 times what I paid for it. I mean, it's not worth it. However, I don't ever remember seeing this for sale, and I had the Xbox 360 for its whole life, so I don't ever remember that catching my eye and thinking, well, I've not seen that game before. You know, but it's from Konami, Hudson, who are the people that made the original one. It is still quite hard to get, I think. I don't know, it's in stock, so generally as they go up in price, people do tend to sell them. I don't. I'm keeping what I've got. I'll just sell my doubles if I buy a collection. So let's move on to the next game, which is Wartech. Senko Vonde, I think it's called. This game I saw in CX not that long ago. Maybe I want to say 2, maybe 3 years ago. And again, game I haven't seen before, so I'm going to pick it up. It wasn't expensive. Hopefully, with any luck, it's still got the CX sticker. I tend to stick them inside so I know how much they were for. So there you go, £2. Doesn't tell me what date it is, so I don't know. But it's £2, and it's a strange mech fighting game. I find it really difficult as well. Not easy. Very niche, I guess. It's all in Japanese as well, which might be the appeal, I guess, for it going up in price. So let's have a look at Wartech. Bear in mind, I paid £2 for it. It wasn't that long ago. It's now £45, and it's in rarities. It's in Xbox rarities, which I've got a manual. So again, another game that's gone up 20 times, 22 times, 22 and a half times. And I'm going to say if I bought it for £45, could I be disappointed? I wouldn't, because I'm buying it for my collection. But if I was buying it to play, it's not a great game. It's not a great game at all. I don't see the appeal. But then that's the whole point of having a range of games. Is that you can always find something to play. Doesn't matter what your play style or taste is. So that's Wartech, Senko no Ronde. We're going to move on to the next game, which is going to be Splatterhouse. I've played this on the Mega Drive, and this version is gross. Makes me feel a bit squeamish. I don't like blood. I'm not. But it's just this scene in particular. Ugh. That is gross. I feel sick thinking about it. I need another drink. Yuck. Anyway, this I paid £6 for. And I'm going to say it's maybe back in 2019. I have a feeling it is on my... So I've obviously gone into this and... That's not going to let me do it. So I quickly logged into my account, paid £6 for it up the top there, which is, a good price. I don't know the date, I didn't look. I'm going to guess it's around 2016. It's a gross game. It's quite fun. Played a fair bit of it. We captured this footage. Again, I've got I think it's got a manual. Disc is in good condition. Like I say, there's a SNES and Mega Drive version of this, so this is kind of the modern version of it, which is does follow the Mega Drive version. The Mega Drive was a 2D scroller, and I guess they just put this into the 3D realm and updated the graphics somewhat. The idea is pretty much the same. So let's have a look. Splatterhouse now costs £58. That's an increase of £52. That's crazy. Again, that is in Xbox rarities. It's a good game. I'm probably going to play this. So I'd quite like to finish this game. It's something that does interest me to play it, even though I don't like the blood and gore. It's still going to be a cool game. If you've got this, let me know what you think of it. If you don't like that much gore, there's something about the blood. The pools of blood on the floor when he moves his hands, it makes me feel a bit oozy. Anyway, let's move on to the next game swiftly, which is, forgive me if I get it wrong, Onechanbara, Bikini Samurai Squad. This was on the same invoice as Splatterhouse, so must have been looking for gory games that week. And again, this game, it was 2019. See that? 2019. I paid a £5 for it. Just crazy, because I know how much this game is now these days. It's in good nick. It's got the manual and disc, obviously, and covers in nice condition. Sometimes you get the covers are mouldy. They've been kept in lofts and garages. I always seal my games up when they're stored away in plastic sleeves. Anyway, this is a hack and slash. It's not particularly good hack and slash, but it has its own unique style, as you can see on screen. And this is, like I say, a game that has gone up in price. Let's click it and have a look. And what we're looking at, Onechanbara, £80. I mean, £80, that's £75 increase in 4 years, 5 years, which is, again, I only bought it. This was the time when I think I started buying games directly from CAX, as opposed to picking them up in shops like Game and Game Station had stopped selling so much second-hand games. So, especially Game now doesn't do it at all, I don't think. So CX and local shops are your only chance to get these. I hadn't seen it. It took me about 4 attempts to actually get the game, because a lot of the time CX you would buy it and find that it's already gone. But I've since found out, and talking to the people at my local CX, is that people steal the covers and just the covers in the case, and they are not allowed to sell discs, but it remains on their system. So I think that's what happens. They go to it and think, there's no case or manual of this, we can't sell it, and they cancel your order. Anyway, that one's gone up a lot in price. It's not a great game, but I can see why it's appealing to be one of those hard to find games, because it's quite scarce. And again, I would have never have seen this. I haven't seen this during the Xbox 360's life you know, its life before the Xbox One arrived. Anyway, let's move on to a cautionary tale. Now, because Xbox 360 games have got so high in price, some of them, you can come unstuck. And I have come unstuck a couple of times. And I probably will in the future come unstuck. But I kept seeing this game, Truck Racer, on CEX, and I kept thinking, I better get it. It kept climbing and climbing and climbing. So I bought the game and thought, right, okay, I've got it now. It's in my collection. That's good. I can move on to the next game. I have a strategy that I use when I collect since the Xbox original days, and it seems to work, so I stick to that strategy. Anyway, Truck Racer came along. It's not a great game. The frame rate's awful. It's a good looking game. It could be a really good game, but it is very laggy, especially if you play from that perspective. Anyway, back to the story. I digress. I paid £30 for it, as you can see, and I will check the date if I can. The date was 2021, so 3 years ago. It's in good nick. It arrived all good and proper, and then not long after, I reckon in 2024, I watched the price of this plummet, and it's probably even lower now. Plummet to today £6. So you do make a loss if you're doing it for financial gain, or you think I'll keep hold of all my games for a certain time. Unless you bought them cheap, you're not going to make an astonishing amount of money, and you could easily lose money as well. You know, it happens to everyone. It happens to everything. There's a bubble apparently, and it could burst. I don't think it will on the 360 for some time, and I'll tell you why at the end of the video when we talk about the last game. But there is my cautionary tale, and I have brought recently, as you'll see in my upcoming videos, a couple more expensive games. I just want to get for my collection. There's so many now that are over, say, £25 that I'm never going to have a full collection, but I'm going to have a decent sized collection and something to play in my retirement and when I have spare time. So I'm looking forward to that. It's kind of the point of me making videos. I'm not making gameplay videos. I know they're not going to get hundreds and hundreds and thousands of views. I make them because it forces me to play every game that I've got, so I know if it's any good or not. Because later on, yeah, I probably will shed a lot of my collection, but I'll keep a lot of games I actually want to play. Anyway, that's Truck Racer. Bit me in the bottom. So moving on to the next game, which is Battle Fantasia. Now you might say, hang on, this game is still quite high. Well, I paid for it. Actually, the receipt is so faded, I can't really tell, but the whole total comes to 38 quid for 5 items, and I know it was probably £8 or £10, so still a lot less than it is today. And it would have been bought from Outlanding Ride. I'm trying to look at the date. 19. There you go. So all these games mostly bought in 2019. It's when I switched from Xbox Original, which I still collect for, but switched to Xbox 360 because the original games were getting very expensive. Now, back to this. This probably will go the same way as Truck Racer, because I've seen these on a Facebook group, and the guy has like a box of 20 of them, and he's selling them for less than, you know, you could take the CX, trade it in for a voucher and make a bit of money or cash. So he's selling 2 copies for X amount of money. I don't know how much. But the thing with these games and Truck Racer, sorry, wobbled the camera there a bit, is that, and a lot of Xbox 360 games that didn't sell, they are going to be hanging around in warehouses or the back of stockroom somewhere, you know, sealed still, because the Battle Fantasia ones that he's selling are sealed. You know, like in Europe, in where the distributors are, they just didn't sell. They're not going to throw hundreds of boxes away, are they? These will come to light, and I think when they do, especially this one, it will start lowering the price. So just, if there's another game you want before, say, this one, you want to play it and it's a game you want, go for that one. Save a little bit more money up, get the game you actually want. Once you've got the games you want, work your way back down the list, so in price, to make sure you get what you actually want, because maybe the longer you wait, the more they go up. It's a gamble. It's a bit like investing, I guess, stocks. They go up and down. When's the right price? Time to buy them. Well, now it's never really. You just buy the bullet when you want them. But there's the cautionary tale. Another cautionary tale is these are both PAL copies, but they are UK copies. So they're in UK. I mean, they've got a secondary language, but primarily they are English copies. There was a guy selling one of these on Facebook, and it was for 40 or 50 quid. And then I saved it and I watched it, and I went back about a month later and it dropped down to 20 quid. I thought that's weird. But when I read the listing, he now said it was in Italian. And this is it. A lot of us are purists and we want them in English, PAL, for our country. It doesn't matter, they've all multilingual anyway. It's just the cover is normally different. So bear that in mind. I've bought really expensive games from CEX, Samurai Western 2 on the PS2. I got it and I didn't even realise I'd had it for ages and thought, oh yeah, this is a good buy, good game. It's, for an old game, it's quite unique. And then about 2 years later, 3 years later, CX changed it to say two versions, like a French version, a European and an English version. The English version was high, and my version, which turned out to be French, had dropped significantly, like 70 quid. So I was like, cheeky sods. And they were the ones that sold it to me. So there's your tales of collecting. But guys and girls, whatever you collect, just enjoy it. If you're doing it for the money, then teach yourself about the market, do some research, know the games, see which ones are worth getting, see if there's any fluctuations. There are websites out there that will show you price fluctuations. You don't have to use CX. I'm just in the UK, it's easier. You can use eBay. You can use lots of different tools to find out the price of games if they go up and down. But ultimately, I buy them because at some point I want to play them. If they're any good, I'll keep them. If they're not, probably later on in 10 years' time, I'll probably get rid of them. But for now, I just enjoy the hunt and the collecting. I think that's what most of us enjoy. And always, always set a sensible budget for your games. Don't get FOMO. FOMO will, it will hurt you eventually if you spend too much money. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, I've got one ask. Can you just hit that notification bell? And hopefully I'll see you in the next video. And it will be a while before I do another one like this. There will just be plenty of gameplay videos for now. So take care, and I'll see you soon.